Welcome to BUCS Super Rugby. 10 years of the best leagues in the land. That's right, a decade of the stars of tomorrow, a decade of nerve-shredding finales, a decade of the biggest venues and the grandest occasions as we celebrate the pinnacle of the game. It's been a roller coaster ride to this point, and I say bring on 10 years more as we make Wednesday the best day of the week. A decade of BUCS Super Rugby.
Hello and welcome to a very rainy Rugby 1 here at Kincoid campus this evening. Now we are up in the studio in the gantry tonight due to the severe weather warnings. However, we are set and ready for a good old-fashioned Welsh derby. Now, the boys in green have travelled up the M4 from Swansea tonight to face our archers, Cardiff Met, in a battle of passion, pride and, of course, bragging rights. Both teams have had an unfortunate few weeks, so we'll be desperate to get points back on the board. But first, let's have a look at how Cardiff Met did last time they were on home turf up against Bath.
Welcome to a crisp cold Kincoid campus on this BUCS Wednesday.
Cardiff Met are going against Bath, the varsity rivals.
And here we go. Shoot out the line. Oh, he's pierced the hole once more, and he's got the speed, and he's over. Another perfect kick to extend it by another 2 points. But the referee stretches his arm out for an advantage. It's free ball as Bath cling to the try line. You see, Ewan Coyle, and he's over. We see a massive shot come in there, but it's the speed of Bath's attack that's putting Cardiff Met under pressure. Dylan Scott now with the ball in hand, juggling it but catching that step. Can he go all the way? Yes, he can. And the referee calls that time. 80 minutes on Rugby 1 and Bath reigns supreme.
And welcome back to the studio. Now I'm joined today with someone who represents the very best of the Welsh Rugby's production line. He started at Cardiff Met playing BUCS Rugby and has since signed a full professional contract with Cardiff Rugby. Joe Cow, it is lovely to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, obviously you went from university to rugby to professional rugby. How did playing at Cardiff Met set you up for that transition? Yeah,
very well actually. I think obviously being as close to a professional outfit as it possibly can here at Cardiff Met, obviously having full-time S&C with the S&C coaches and the trainings in the mornings and the evenings, you know, it certainly sets you up very well for the future of rugby. Yeah.
Now, it is your second season playing professional rugby for Cardiff. How does it feel to be back, though, here at Cardiff Met? Yeah,
it's always special to come back and watch the boys play on a Wednesday night, you know, especially against an outfit like Swansea tonight, Welsh derby. So, yeah, it's always brilliant to come back to Rugby 1 on a Wednesday.
And I've heard you've been involved with Cardiff Met teams recently, coaching the twos and even playing for a Premiership game yourself?
Yeah, so I've been involved with BUCS twos since the start of the season, and yeah, a couple of weeks back played against Brecon up on a 3G. So yeah, it was nice to come back and have one final run out for the club. Yeah.
That's lovely to hear. Now let's talk about your current team. Obviously 9 of your teammates from Cardiff Rugby got called up for the autumn international games just yesterday. That was announced. What was the mood after that call up?
Yeah, obviously it was brilliant for the boys. You know, it's been a pretty good season so far. Obviously with a few wins under our belt and sitting around the top 4 of the table. So yeah, quite deserved for all the boys being picked up, I think. Yeah.
And obviously there was talk of your teammate Tom Bowen getting called up, but unfortunately didn't. So what is your reaction to this?
Yeah, obviously I'm pretty close with Tom, and he's been on fire the past, since the start of the season really. But you know, I think for him being so close and being in talks, obviously in contention to be selected, I think it's brilliant for him. You know, still 19 years old. So yeah, massive future ahead for Tom.
Lovely to hear it. Now, thank you, Joe. We will be hearing more from you a little later on. But first, I'm joined with our next guest, Arthur Moore, who is a current flanker for Cardiff Met Rugby. He's unfortunately out on injury at the moment. But Arthur, lovely to have you here. We hope to see you back on the field very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, got a surgery booked in, and yeah, hoping to be back in the new year, so looking forward to that.
Good, that's lovely to hear. Now, let's talk of the team. Obviously, there was a big win at Cardiff Clash a few weeks ago, and then the previous 2 games, both home and away, were losses. What do you think went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it was a narrow loss against Durham last week. You know, it's a tough place to go. But we sat down as a squad and, you know, tried to, you know, understand what was going wrong, and I think, you know, we just weren't quite being accurate on our opportunities were given to us, and maybe not putting out a full 80-minute performance.
So what do the boys need to do to put points back on the board?
I just think they need to be really confident when they run out. You know, there'll be opportunities out there, especially against Swansea. You know, we've done a good analysis and a good training week against them. So, yeah, I think there's loads of confidence going in, and be excited to play back on Rugby 1 in front of the Ultras. You know, I know it's a wet night, but, you know, it's a good night to be playing rugby.
Now, it is your second year, obviously, playing for Cardiff Met. How do you find Swansea as a side?
Yeah, they've started the season really well. They've had some good half-time scorelines against some decent opposition. So I'm sure they'll come flying out with, you know, a fast start. They'll bring a physical battle. You know, it's a Welsh derby. You know, it's a wet night. It might be slow ball. So, yeah, the boys just need to be ready for it and be really up for it. And
what do you think the mood is in the changing room ahead of tonight's game?
Yeah, I think they'll be really excited. You know, there's some new faces. You know, there's been a few injuries in the squad, so yeah, I'm sure they'll be excited to put their name down. And you know, for the more experienced boys, you know, they'll be guiding them through that.
And I do have to ask, what are your match predictions this evening?
Yeah, you know, hoping we'll come away with a good 5-point win to move up that table. You know, I'm sure there'll be a few tries from the wingers Jack Walsh and Dylan Scott.
And are there any players that we think we should be looking out for tonight on the field?
Yeah, I think two good partnerships to ID is probably Ollie Smith and Gethin Cannon in the second row, and then obviously Jack Walsh and Dill Scott to score them in the corners.
And obviously, given the conditions tonight, how do you think the game will go?
Yeah, obviously you probably expect a bit more, you know, probably a bit more of a kicking battle tonight, you know, to fight for that territory. But, you know, with 2 probably quite big forward packs, you know, I'm sure there'll be some good hits and some good physicality.
And do you think Cardiff Met will want a forward-dominating game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, both forwards and backs can be confident how they play. So I think when the opportunity's on out wide, you know, the backs can play and you know, ship the point of contact and play into the better space.
So what do we know so far? You've obviously said you played Swansea yourself, but where are they most dangerous? What should we be looking at tonight?
Yeah, I think just important bits to look at is just the way they you know, want to kind of get in our heads. You know, I think they may, you know, look at that, slightly slow us down a bit and maybe make a bit more of a dogfight. So we just need to make sure we stay on our level and then play our game.
And are there any Swansea players that we should be, you know, looking out for tonight? Anyone who's looking slightly dangerous for Cardiff Met?
I don't know, I've got an old teammate, Theo Malik. He's playing loosehead, so it'd be nice to catch up with him after the game. So yeah, we'll see how it goes today.
Great. Well, it's lovely to hear from you, Arthur. Obviously, we're excited to see you back on the field when it comes to the new year, but very excited to see it. Now, we weren't just talking about the Autumn International Cup. Obviously, we have 2 Cardiff Met players who are playing, so we're very excited to see them. That is Aaron Wainwright and Max Llewellyn. So very excited to see them play. And obviously, looking up to the next games, for Cardiff Met. They do play Leeds Beckett at home next week. But we are getting prepped for kickoff now, so we're going to throw over to our commentary team. That is Dathith Griffiths and to Eben Pearce. Over to you guys.
It's raining, it's pouring, but this matchup will definitely not be boring. We are back at Rugby 1 today. Cardiff Met versus Swansea Uni. Now this matchup might just be another fixture in the BSR League to anyone over the other side of the bridge. But for these two teams, derby wins are worth much more than just the points. I'm here with my co-commentator today, Eben Pearce. Eben, what can you tell us about the two teams today?
Well, Dad, to start off with, there's not much better ways to open a live stream than you've just done. Rain has just joined us here at Kincoid, but I can't see that stopping any of the ultras getting rowdy here tonight. A big derby, both teams will be going at it, both wanting to take points home. Potentially the 2 bonus points that are up for grabs. But no, the rain's gonna force some kicking games. We've seen Isaac Marsh, how well he kicks. He's going to try and find the corners, find touch, and gain territory through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see at the other end of the field and over behind the post there, people are still in the rafters, ready to watch a massive Welsh derby here today. And I can't believe it. The rain is absolutely pouring down here, and the fans are still down here supporting the boys.
Yeah, it comes back to something that's mentioned so often here at Cardiff Met. It's that one club mentality. You know, some of these boys will have been playing out and about today, but they're still gunning to come and support the boys and push them over the line.
And moving on to the lineups today for Cardiff Met. Unchanged in the 2 prop positions, with Max Surrey and Harry Silman in at the tight and loose head, with Dom Manisitava stepping in for Theo Mullins at hooker. The Claret Cannon, Gethin Cannon, back as captain today with his second row partner, Ollie Smith. And Maxime van Hilst, the other half of the dangerous, destructive Dutch duo, is partnered up with Ellis Payne, the Scarlets Academy man, at 9 and 10. And the big finishers, Jack Walsh, Dylan Scott on the wings today on a wet Rugby 1. And the bomb squad for this evening, 16, 17, 18, Jack Morris, Will Pearce, Alex Wakefield, ready to make the impact. Swansea come down the M4 today, down to Rugby 1, with a unchanged 5 in the pack, with Wills Austin taking lead of the pack today. And Evan Weston slides over to the blindside flank to save room for Salvador Gomares, the Portuguese prince of Swansea Uni. And then we move on to the backs for today. 9 and 10, Kai Inter and Tal Rees, the West Wales pair, ready to try and make an impact on a wet day with a lot of box kicks and a lot of kicks in play. And then looking down to the wingers, Elliot Smith and Noah Mason, Leicester Tigers at 11, Ospreys under 18s at 14, another 2 pacey wingers for today, and another bomb squad to come on with Tom Connolly, Joe Bowen, Harry Peckett, and the Rams RFC number 20, Kian Tappan.
Yeah, there's so much talent in both those lineups, Dav. Starting off with the Met team, Gethin Cannon, captain here tonight in Gus Patterson's presence. Absence even. Geth Cannon is a breakdown demon. We can expect to see so much more of that tonight. Kerith Davis making his return to the lineup tonight after a red card against Cardiff in the clash. He'll be hoping to make an impact and to redeem himself after that red card. And then moving on to the Swansea team then, Wills Austin, the captain, the Ospreys man, he'll be gunning to get himself onto the back of moving walls tonight and dot the ball over the line. And Tal Rees at fly half. Tal, a phenomenal player. He will run the game with his head. It was mentioned before by Libby. Swansea are going to try and get into Cardiff's heads tonight, and I believe Tal Rees will do just that. Play the game, play his game, play Swansea's game, and try and tip the Met boys over.
Cheers, Ebbs. And if we just take a moment now to just have a look at the league, where we can know that Cardiff Met and Swansea are sitting low in the business end of that relegation zone. Met at 8th and Swansea Uni at 10th. But obviously, it's not any old BSR season this year. We know that number 10 is not the number you want next to your team at the end of the season, where you'll get no playoffs, no redemption. It is all just relegation when it comes to 10th place. And looking at this game now, maybe it isn't just an ordinary Welsh derby. You got Cardiff Met, you got Swansea at the bottom end, and I think, bragging rights aside, this is a really, really important game. What do you think, Ebbs?
100% Dav, without a shadow of a doubt. The bottom three at the moment are the Welsh clubs. They'll all be looking to remain in the Super Rugby, but it would be such a shame to see one of them go down. At the moment, it is looking like Swansea are the poorest team. Conceded 175 points already this season in 4 games. But we've seen them so many times score in the first half but concede in the second half. So both teams have got so much to play for, not only now but throughout the rest of the season, and I believe it will properly get underway here now.
And you mentioned the past games for Swansea as well. 4 losses on the bounce at the start of this season. But if we really look deeper into that, you've got Hartbury, they've had Exeter at home, both home games, and they've been winning at half-time. They've been in that game, so it's not like their performances have been bad out the 80 minutes. But then we look again and we see that second half performance just isn't going well for Swansea, losing both them games, and they were both winning at half-time.
We saw in those first halves, they're so good at getting the ball out to the wing, to the wide channels and dotting over the line, but I don't know what it is. Is it a matter of tired legs or lack of motivation towards the second half? But they don't seem to be able to get over the line, and they'll all be hoping they can change that tonight.
Well, I'm sure when they walk down into this Rugby 1, the cauldron, the dungeon of Kincoid campus, they're not going to be wanting to take that trip home with a loss on their record again. But then we got Cardiff Met, a few points away from having a really good record on their CV this season. You look at them games, Durham, you look at Exeter, only a few points away from getting them wins. And it's just them little things in them games that aren't going their way. But if they do go their way, it's a whole different battleground. They would have been up to 3 wins and 1 loss there, with an amazing win down in Cardiff Clash. But today is a must win for the Claret and Gold. But also a big win needed from the Green and Black.
To touch on the Met side, the one thing they need to do tonight to ensure they take all points is make sure they capitalise on those chances. We've seen them get into the opposing 22 so many times and come out with empty-handed. So tonight they'll really be focused. I'd imagine Ian Gardner will have nailed down on that this week and make sure we do take points when we get into the opposing 22.
And just looking there, we see Geth Cannon talking to the ref to swap sides. Maybe that's a tactical thing that the Met side want to play down the first half, but they will receive the kick-off from Tal Rees.
Going back into that attacking the opposing 22, Met boys will have the ultras on their backs now going into that opposing 22.
And we are off. Cardiff Uni, Isaac Marsh, ready on the ball already with another high ball. Did the exact same against Durham last week.
He's so good in the high balls, Dav. I think he's 92 successfully last week under high balls, and the returns are always spot on by him.
Great take there. Ooh.
So big.
You see the slow ball there from Swansea Uni, the wet weather. 3 kicks already in this game. And Isaac Marsh there with a spill. Very topsy-turvy stuff there from both sides.
It must have been commentator's curse, Dav. We don't see that often by Isaac Marsh.
And a big hit there from Geth and Ollie Smith, the 2 second rows for today, making an impact already, but we come back for a knock-on from Isaac Marsh.
It's just what you expect by those big second rowers in the red. And the Geth Cannon is known for smashing people. He loves it.
Definitely what you want from your skipper as well. Big hits in the first 5 minutes.
Leading from the top, Dav.
Oh, absolutely. We sit down here for the first scrum of the game, right next to them Cardiff Met fans, as loud as ever on a BUCS Wednesday. Harry Silman and Max Surrey grinding away there, trying to make an impact from the front. Big carry there from the man, Ian Bissell.
You see Swansea carrying hard here, attacking that Metropolitan 22. And the penalty won by them. Will they go for posts here? Probably the better option. Get some points on the board early.
Yeah, you saw Caio into there. He almost went for a little tap and go, but he's done the better thing and passed it there to Tal Rees to take the touch. I think Swansea are going to go for the upper jumper approach night with the pack, which isn't a bad approach at all, but it's definitely one to be a difficult way to win a game, especially in Rugby 1.
Will Austin with his first throw in tonight. You know, we've seen him do it so often. Normally spot on. What can he do this time?
Straight in the arms there of Theo Curry. A maul. And the ref gives a penalty again to Swansea Uni.
This is something Cardiff Met have struggled with over the last few weeks. 15 penalties conceded last week. There's so much emphasis now on getting the penalty count under 10. They'll be looking to do that, but they've not started too well on that front here, Dav.
And if you were in the Swansea jerseys right now and you were there, these little penalties that they're getting every single time, that's got to be a big motivation booster for you, especially 5 metres out.
You know, forcing penalties on Met's 5 metre line, there's not much better things that'll get them on the front foot than that.
Big defence there in the maul from Cardiff Met.
And it's going to be Swansea ball again, Dav.
Words being said there from Maxoy to the ref. And it looks like Swansea ball in the 5 metre line for Met. Words being exchanged. Or is the ref overturned this decision?
Overturned. I believe it's going to be a Met scrum on their own 5 metre line, yeah?
Well, I wish we were over that side so we know what was being said there, but the ref has overturned that to a scrum for Met in their 5 metre, and we need to see the Met try and clear the ball out here now, but they got 8 black and green jerseys in their way to try and get clean ball here.
I think that's exactly what the Met are going to try to do. Ellis Payne stood behind the scrum ready to try and find touch with that ball.
And it's Will Owen that takes the ball up. Big crash ball there from a big man.
Great carry. Very, very important metres made off that first carry.
Max Surrey with the carrying duties again with Harry Silman behind him. And Van Halist with a long box kick into touch. Not as many metres as he wanted to gain from that one, I don't think, but they're out of their 22 now. And restart from a Swansea line-out.
I think Met need to compose themselves here. It's early days in this match. Get those nerves down. Keep the ball. Get it out to the big boys out on the wings in Dylan Scott and Jack Walsh, and try and get them to gain some metres.
Speaking of composure, Will Austin's composure there, right in front of the Met fans, loud as ever, and that was a dart straight to Theo Curry. Another maul here from Swansea University.
They're sending Ian Bissell up with every carry off these mauls, Dav.
He's going to be a big man to try and tackle in this wet weather as well. Massive carries there from Matthew Price. And again from his prop partner, Theo Malik.
I don't want to put commentators' curse on it, but I've been really impressed so far with the lack of handling errors. You know, the ball's going to be wet, it's going to slip around, but we've not seen that as of yet.
Absolutely not, but then I think commentators' curse has had you there again, Ebbs. Turnover for Cardiff Met there. And I will say not a handling error, but just A brilliant steal there
Ball's coming
from
straight
Cardiff
forward now.
Met. And then we almost got killed there by the rugby ball as well.
I think I've got more touches on the ball than the Swansea fullback, yeah.
I think Ellis Payne was aiming for your head there.
Must have said something.
And we've got Dom Manisitava's first line out of the night. Straight to Willow in. And you hear the grunts of Willow in there, trying to make some meters in the maul. And another long box kick there from Maxime. And Talleries calls the mark. Good IQ there from the number 10.
Something else we see so often by Talleries is that the rugby brain. He's such an experienced player. You know, his decision making is perfect.
And just a bit about Talleries as well, and Ellis Payne, the two number 10s for tonight. Big competition between the two. Two Meister Gwendryth schoolboys playing different years but in the same shirt. I bet there'll be a lovely chat about who did better tonight.
You know, Meister Gwendryth at the moment as well, you've got a great A-level team there. And obviously producing two great talents in Ellis Payne and Talleries.
And you see Jack Walsh there just getting a glimpse of the ball, but straight into touch there. It's going to be very, very important to just keep the ball in hand there, especially Dylan Scott and Jack Walsh, on each wing. It's going to be very, very important to get them into the game, because obviously we saw Bath 2 weeks ago. Dylan Scott just didn't get into the game as soon as he could have.
I think that we're going to see more of the same here tonight, Dav. You know, it's a wet night. It's not a game to play fancy champagne rugby. But no, Jack Walsh and Dylan Scott are going to have to work inside and try and find that ball and get a hold of it for themselves.
And it's another spilled ball there from Dylan Scott. Talleries with another quick kick. Creeping. Brilliant step there from Ellis. And a massive kick there from Isaac Marsh. Testing the Swansea fullback. Oh, and he's retrieved his own kick. A long, high ball there from Tim Davis, and he's just come and collected it himself. And another kick from Talleries.
Tim Davis,
straight to Isaac Marsh.
Tim Davis has been one of the standout players for Swansea this season, I'd say. You know, doing exactly that, kicking and regaining possession and gaining the team some territory in tough games.
And a spill there from Ellis Payne. And Ellis Payne finds touch. Oh. Did he find? No, he didn't find touch, sorry.
Cardiff penalty count is still creeping up.
Just needs to settle the penalties down now and just keep it simple. The territory battle definitely in Swansea's favour. Back in to the Cardiff Met 22 again. And looking at the first 10 minutes here, Eben, what do you think of the defence here from Cardiff Met? Still not yet to concede a point, but still almost living in their half.
Yeah, you know, momentum's obviously been with Swansea for the first 10 minutes here. But Cardiff have done well defensively. Obviously conceding a couple penalties. They just need to keep hold of this ball, utilise those big boys they've got in the forwards, and play some phases, get themselves up the pitch, and then try and play some rugby and get over the line.
You see another big hit there from Ian Bissell. These Swansea boys begging for the ball. But another entry into the 22 goes amiss for Swansea Uni. Another turnover there for Cardiff Met, and another chance to get clear. Brilliant defence there from Cardiff Met, just always at the right time there, getting a hand on that ball in the ruck. And it looks like another line out near the gantry here for Cardiff Met.
It's a line out near enough on the halfway line. You know, the last one was perfect by the Met boys, brought the ball down, gained some yards off that maul, and then got the ball over the top then by Van Hilst.
And we see Jack Morris here, just come on for the injured Dom Manasatava. He won't be happy to come off this early, but I'm sure Jack Morris will fill in the duties for him and have a great game here on Rugby 1.
Great shame to see Dom Manasatava go off. You know, he's struggled already this season with injuries. I hope it's nothing serious and we can see him back here at Rugby 1 soon.
Fast ball here to Ellis Payne. A great inside pass there from Isaac Marsh, but a big hit from Matthew Price on the number 12 for Met.
That was very tidy. You saw a glimpse of what Met can do there. You know, that inside ball by Isaac Marsh.
Screams from the Met side, and a yellow card there for Elliott Smith for a deliberate knock-on. Eben, obviously, yellow card now for even just the slightest intentional knock-on there. I don't think the number 11's going to be happy having a 10-minute timeout.
No, you know, it's a tough one, isn't it? You know, had the ball been drier, could the impact have been different? Could he have taken it into his hands? I believe it was Elliott Smith taking the yellow card. Met now have an advantage, a one-man advantage outside the Swansea defence. They've got to look to get the ball out wide to Jack Walsh and Dylan Scott.
And we just take a look at the replay there. A little pass there from Isaac Marsh, straight to Ellis Payne, and you see Elliott Smith. Just a bit of brain fog there from the number 11, but almost.
Yeah, you know, it's instinct, isn't it, really? You're going for that ball. He's gone for it, he's pulled back, but it's a bit too late, and he's earned himself 10 minutes in the bin.
Yeah, like you said, that back there again, Eben. If that ball was a tiny bit drier, you never know, he could have been under the sticks. And Isaac Marsh recollects off that scrum. And it's a forward pass to the magic man on the wing, Dylan Scott.
The Met will be gutted by that. There's a chance for Dylan Scott to open up those legs and get around the defenders. We've seen him so many times beat defenders this season. I'm sure he could have done that again there.
7 tries in 4 games for Dylan Scott on the wing now. He definitely wants to tally up them points as he goes into the season, but I'm sure that won't be the last time we see him go closer and closer to that whitewash.
Without a doubt. We saw the back 3 last week beat 10 defenders between them. They'll be looking to double that tonight maybe and get themselves to gain those all-important metres for Met.
And we see Matthew Price down at the moment, seen by the medic. We come into 50 minutes into the match now, Eben, and still not a score on the board for either side. And if we go back to Swansea, how they start strong in the first half, we're seeing that again today. But it's just, can they keep this going now away from home and try and keep Met to 0, but also try and get some points on the board themselves?
You know, it's going to be tough. A man down after 15 minutes. You know, they've just got to play discipline now. Keep that defence nice and tight, push out if have to, and then force the Met boys back. But you know, Met will be gunning for it now, wanting to get that ball out wide, wanting to drive down those channels and get themselves on the scoreboard.
The Swansea scrum, big scrum from the green and black, and Guimarães there with a big carry.
The steam coming off that scrum there, that was phenomenal.
A cold night down Rugby 1 and the scrum almost smoking. And ref comes back for the advantage there for Swansea Uni. Offside, Cardiff Met. Another penalty there, close to their 22. These penalties, Ebbs, they just keep adding up for Cardiff Met at the moment in this first half.
You know, they keep on piling on. The ref must be in the back of his mind now thinking, is there a yellow card coming for Met? But firstly, Swansea need to capitalise on these and take some points. It's exactly what Talreese is doing here.
Yeah, smart play there from the number 10. Take the points and run, and hopefully reset and try and get back in to the Cardiff Met 22.
If all goes well here, David, it will be Swansea taking the lead first. You know, Met have got to be talking now, getting each other up for this, getting the ball, playing the phases, and, you know, gunning through gaps in that Swansea defence.
Yes, absolutely. Met, after this kick now, might see themselves 3-0 down in the first 20 minutes of this game. Talreese seals the deal there. 3 points for Swansea. And it's Cardiff Met 0, Swansea 3.
Yeah, Met need to get the ball down here. We saw a glimpse of it before in that yellow card play. Met getting the ball out wide, some slick rugby, but ultimately no outcome for it, kind of thing.
And it's Ellis Payne with the restart, long to that Portuguese prince again. Salvador Guimaraes with a big hit there, taken back.
Met are in a great place defensively here. Force that handling mistake from Swansea, regain possession in their 22.
And we're looking to see another box kick here from Kai Inter. Long and straight into touch there. Isaac Marsh lurking to try and get that ball, but it goes straight out into touch. And we're going to see another Cardiff Met line out on the other side of the pitch here, in front of still a packed out King Coyd campus today.
Got some great commitments by the fans, you know, coming to support. Most of them either live with these boys, play with these boys, or just good mates with them. They're all down here, getting behind them.
A little fake there. A little fake there from Mac Hansen, but it just doesn't seem to go in the favour of Met. And it just goes straight out into touch. And the rugby club, up and down the club, Eben, it's a big family in the rugby community, and a game like this, Swansea University at home, it's nice to see all the boys and all the women out as well, watching and cheering on the club.
You know, you mentioned that family. Some of these boys even coach different teams. You've got Harry Silman, who coaches BUCS 8. Isaac Marsh also coaches the BUCS, the BUCS team. And it's just that feeling of one club and boys getting behind each other and helping each other out, kind of thing.
And a quick pick and go there from Geth Cannon. He doesn't give up, that man. A great leader by example there. Just carrying and will not stop. The same again from Harry Silman. You see that man again, Max Surrey, scored a double against Cardiff in the Cardiff clash, but he just comes out the latter in that ruck with another turnover there, but for Swansea Uni.
They've had a couple in this game, Dav. Very quick to that breakdown is something Cardiff Met will have to look on now, get those breakdowns secured and retain that ball.
Obviously, this is one of the few visits there from Cardiff Met into the Swansea 22, and he was just a very clinical play there from Swansea Uni, taking that ball straight out to the ruck. If we see a lot more of that from Swansea Uni, that clinical work in the breakdown area, do you think Met will even get any other chances to get into that scoreline?
Of course, chances are going to come, Dav, but they've got to capitalise on them. You know, there's not infinite amounts of chances. They've got to make the most of one of these.
And Isaac Marsh leaves the ball out there from a Talreese kick. And yet another line out in a very close knit game here on Rugby 1.
I feel like we've had glimpses of what Tyrese can do here off that boot, you know, finding touch a couple of times, gaining his team, so the ever important territory, and we're going to continue to see that throughout this game, Dav.
And another ball from Willow into a maul. And let's take a quick Dylan Scott, and he's just put into touch there. A brilliant tackle there from the Ospreys man, Noah Mason, just dragging Dylan Scott's feet into touch there and nulling out any form of attack there. Brilliant offload there from Dylan Scott, but just not enough.
Max Van Hilst might have underestimated how much space they did have on that blind side there. You know, it was a tough place to send Dylan Scott by himself. It's frustrating to see Matt, you know, conceding these chances and not making the most of them, but we're getting glimpses of what they can do, and I'm sure as they'll warm up into this game, those chances are going to start flowing.
I'm just seeing there, Geth Cannon, another nuisance in the maul. Ooh! And it's a long kick there, but it goes dead, and we come back. A little spilled ball there from the box kick from Kayenta Inca. And we come back to where the kick was played.
Theo Malik will be telling all his mates about that kick over, Dav. Not many props get the chance to do that in games.
It was a long kick from the man. A lot of power in them legs.
Boot, a great connection. Might have been talking to Tyrese in the week.
And you just see the glimpse of hope there from Cardiff Met with Dylan Scott on that replay, just edging forward and just keeping them chances alive.
Yeah, you know, Dylan Scott is an electric winger. We know what he can do. He's going to continue doing that as long as he gets the ball to do that.
And that's a reset here. The ref having a stern word with the front rowers. I'm sure he does not want to be staying longer than he should do on a very cold night here on Rugby 1. And making sure that both front rows know their duties.
It's nice to see the ref so far. He's been very vocal. We've seen him many a times. We've heard him up here talking to the players. You know, it's nice to see that now in the game, that the communication between the ref and the players is key.
Big carry there from Will Owen. Oh, quick dummy there from Mark.
It's crucial the Met keep this ball now, play it out wide and get themselves over that line.
And it's Jack Walsh on the wing.
Small step inside there by Jack Walsh. Met edging ever closer to that Swansea line.
There's Geth Cannon there with a mistake.
It's so frustrating to see that. Getting so close. Great carry. Out on the wing.
And we just see there the breakaway from Maxime Van Helist. A brilliant little offload there to the big man Ollie Smith. And another offload. But just doesn't seem enough to get points on the board there for Cardiff Met.
There's not many better sights in rugby than a big second rower making a break dab. You see all that by Ollie Smith there. A nice quick carry and a good offload in the end of it.
And the ref telling Kayinka to play the ball after the Met front row and the Swansea row claps. And it's straight into touch. Another line out here for the Met side.
Swansea might not be the happiest team in the world after that clear out. maybe not getting the distance they'd have hoped for, but it was crucial for them to get off their own try line there.
And do you think after that mistake there from Met, just inches away from that try line, do you think it's a moment of relief there for Swansea?
Without a doubt, I think if Met could have held on to that ball, it was a matter of 2-3 phases maybe before they crossed. So yeah, Swansea will definitely be chuffed that they could force the mistake there.
And Ellis Payne there with a kick in Swansea Uni's 5 metre. And 11, Elliott Smith for Swansea comes back on the pitch after his 10-minute break, and he's hoping to get the Swansea Uni side back.
There'll be a bit of relief there, Dav, to have him back to 15 now, and having conceded nothing, even got themselves 3 points on the board. They'll be so pleased with that, and they'll build on that now.
Very, very important that for Cardiff Swansea Uni, that even, like you said, without Elliott Smith on the field, a very attacking threat on that wing, to come out with some points is going to be very beneficial for them coming into later in this game, as we still see the scoreboard 3-0 to Swansea Uni. And we're going out wide here for Swansea Uni. Tim Davis trying to get that tip off there, but still couldn't get there. And the ref is bringing it back to the other side of the pitch there.
Free kick, Cardiff Met for Swansea.
And Swansea still into their 22, but needing to clear the ball off the line now and null out any chance of a Cardiff Met attack here. We see a long kick there from the number 10. We're back into the Cardiff Met half now. Jack Morris taking the ball up in this, not Jack Morris, sorry. There we go, Will Austin taking the line out there. And it just keeps on getting heavier as the rain comes down here on Rugby 1. Great take there from the fullback, Isaac.
Both fullbacks latched onto the ball there, Dav, I believe.
Very good grip there from both fullbacks.
Which way is the ref going to give this one?
And it's gone in Cardiff Met's favour there. Ref explaining that Isaac Marsh was the first in the air to contest, which means Cardiff Met get the scrum.
Swansea will be disappointed with that. A set piece, a good chance for them to play some attacking rugby. I was shocked to see Towery's kicker there, but that's his decision, and ultimately didn't work out for him.
And you got them just small 50-50 moments like that. In a game like this, do you think they're important to be on the better hand of them ones?
Without a doubt, the minuscule little details in this game is going to lead to someone being the winner.
Willow in there with a quick free kick after the scrum, trying to make some yards.
Big hits coming in from Swansea.
Great little tip there. Jack Walsh just spilling the ball on the wing.
Just that ball going to ground again. Those little basics the Mets haven't quite gotten right in this game yet.
And as the rain pours down, it's just going to get harder there for the number 14. Just really try and get a grasp on this game, and also the ball on them wings.
Must admit, Dave, I'm glad I'm up here, not down there.
It's a lot drier up here.
Yeah, it seems.
Not as warm, but definitely dry. As we see another scrum down on the other side of Rugby 1 here. We knew coming into this match with the rain there was going to be drop balls and mistakes from both sides, and scrums are going to be a very influential part of this game.
without a doubt, you know. And the Swansea scrum so far has been excellent. They've held their ground against a big Met pack, opting for that kick over the cross-field kick again.
That's Isaac Marsh getting dragged back there.
Bit of a hospital pass into him there. I think it was a panicky offload.
And a quick reset there from Harry Silman. So Maxime can get the box kick away and out of the Cardiff Met half. A high ball there for Evan Weston, just spilling the ball backwards.
Archers will be chuffed to bits with that. They've won themselves a scrum in the Swansea 22 and a chance now to get that ball out wide, Dav.
And I think it's safe to say now, 32 minutes into the game, we're coming up close to double digits on them scrums. And it's going to be a tough day from 1 to 8. Just to keep in the game and just have the energy to get around the park after showing strength and just trying to get your own back in that scrum.
They'll be using most of that strength to get from scrum to scrum, Dav, after all of these handling errors, and they still keep on coming.
Maxime switches the play to Isaac Marsh. Dylan Scott on the wing. Big carry there that's just dragged into touch by the number 9.
A nice move there by Matt to kind of fake going out wide and bring it back to the blind side. But again, we see Dylan Scott being pushed over the line into touch.
And celebrations there from the Swansea Uni side as they null out another Cardiff Met attack. And this second half coming to a close now with a tryless 33 minutes. And we can just see here the quick little play there from Maxime. Straight to Isaac and a great offload there. But the strength from the Swansea Uni defence just nulls out anything for Dylan Scott.
I think Isaac Marsh would have hoped to get that ball out a bit sooner there. Give his teammate Dylan Scott some time to open that defence and beat those defenders.
And Will Austin with another dart into the line out there, and another maul in the Swansea 22.
Getting Cannon getting properly involved in there, Dav.
An absolute nuisance in the maul, and everywhere he steps foot on the pitch. And we see the man there, Jack Morris, having to step up early into this game. And he's been on point with every single liner he's had this first half.
Credit to both hookers tonight, Dav. They've both nailed every throw, done their jobs correctly.
And cries from the Swansea Uni side as they steal the ball from the Cardiff Met maul there. We've seen a lot of mauls in this first half from the line out. But Swansea Uni get the one up and get the scrum from the Cardiff Met line out.
It's absolutely crucial, and Met gets some points on the board before half time here, Dav. You know, getting that momentum carried through into the second half will be a game changer for them, but they've not got much time left to do it.
And with that scoreboard just getting closer and closer to the 40-minute mark, it is so crucial for both teams to try and stay in this, especially for the Cardiff Met side who still haven't scored a point this half.
try now for either team could change the game completely. Met would feel some confidence, but Swansea could extend their lead.
We see a reset there on the scrum. Still Swansea Uni ball in their own half. As the clock gets closer and closer to half time. Big shunt there for both front row. And it's a free kick there for Swansea Uni. You could just see Harry Silman on our side there, just collapsed down there.
Met might have got a bit overexcited there. That was a good shunt to start off with. He started gaining a bit, and then Harry Silman just sunk down to the ground.
And a high kick there from Tal Rees. And a spill from Isaac Marsh again. The wizard in the rain is just not having time.
It's not been his night so far, Dav. He's not. I don't think he's had as much ball as he'd like to have, and when he has had it, it's been little handling errors that, you know, the conditions aren't helping. But he'll be hoping to come out for the second half a different player.
And we see the Met go down for another defending scrum. And Eben, if you were Ian Gardner right now, seeing this first half, the boys in the changing rooms at half-time, what's going to be going through Ian Gardner's mind, and also what's he going to be saying to the boys when they get back in them changing rooms?
It's not been a poor half by any means. You know, we've seen glimpses of Met playing through the hands. Dylan Scott having made 2 breaks, both ending up in touch. On the far side, we've seen Toby Clinch, I believe, making a couple line breaks. So Ian Gardner will be drilling into him. You know what you're doing. You know you can do it. It's just that final ball, final execution, and he'll be confident that the Met boys can do a job on the Swansea lads in the second half.
And as we see the scrum go down again for both teams, it's a very big coincidence as it goes. At half-time, you'll join me with a Cardiff Met ex-captain and scrum expert Joe Cowell for a bit of a first half recap. And we'll get his thoughts and feelings on both sides at half-time, and we'll get him for a bit of the second half as well to see how the two teams are going to match up when it comes to the second half.
Don't get too carried away talking about those scrums, Dav. We know how long you can go on about them.
There's a spilled ball there from Matthew Price. No Mason taking order of the scrum half duties. And a lob kick from Tal Rees. And Jack Walsh picked up the ball. And brilliant little tap tackle there from Tal Rees. And it's a penalty and a yellow card. Cardiff Met with the man up again.
There's not a better time to get over that line than now, Dav. 40 minutes on the clock in the Swansea 22. They'll be confident now they can push over.
And just to have a look back at that yellow card there, just to see what really did happen for the ref to be so sure about getting that yellow card out of his pocket. And you can see it's just silly play there from the ruck, just spoiling the ball there for Cardiff Met, trying to get a chance into that 22-metre line. And we see Met inches below the line with 15 men to 14. And the ref's given the try from a maul. Cardiff Met have finally got a score on the board.
Some great discipline by Met there. You can see the fans going wild. It was a great driving maul, kept on going, and I believe it was Max Surrey who dotted down in the end, Dav.
Max Surrey there with the 5 points, bagging another try. 3 and 3 for the tight head prop.
Those are very impressive stats for a tight head.
And just taking a look back at it here, you can see Max Surrey, the back of that maul.
That's some power by the Met boys there. Legs still driving, outnumbered in the maul, mind, but they still get over the line.
Showing grit. But an extra 2 points onto the 5 will be all beneficial for the Met side. And Ellis Payne gets that 2 points at the end of the second half.
That's one of the most important scores of the match that one, Dav. Just before half time, give the Met boys some motivation in the changing rooms.
A very, very close-knit half there from both sides. Nothing in between the two sides. A quick try at the end there for Cardiff Met. And I think there's plenty more to come in this second half. The rain is still pouring here down at Rugby 1. But both sides are very eager to get one over their Welsh rivals.
It's a chance for Met to extend the lead now. Give those ultras something to cheer about in the second half.
And just looking back onto that maul there from Cardiff Met at the end, you just saw how much it meant to the fans there on the other side of the pitch. Standing in the pouring wet rain, finally seeing a score on the board for Cardiff Met. And finally a try. 40 minutes into a wet game on Rugby 1.
Conditions haven't helped at all, Dav, but you know, it was the grit you mentioned, the grit and determination to get over the line in the end.
And we see now everyone in the background there getting ready for a second half, and you'll join me and Joe Cowell with a little recap of the first half. But I now take you back up to the studio to Libby.
Hello and welcome back. Obviously it's been a very wet first half, but Met are ahead given the half time. But it's not always about the players here. Our coaches put in a very, very lot of effort to make our teams look good. And last week we visited the Principality Stadium to assist the Welsh Rugby Union in putting coaches through their paces in some very tough press scenarios. Let's see how we got on.
For the elite coaches, the real test isn't just on the pitch. It's when the mics are on, the cameras are rolling, and the questions get tough. Today, we are here at the Principality Stadium, where Cardiff Met Sport TV students are teaming up with the Welsh Rugby Union.
Today's the launch day, which is pretty exciting, and we've got 3 different carousel activities, from things around planning and pedagogy to high performance under pressure, through to some media scenarios with our Cardiff Met Sport TV team.
It's so great for us to get to do this sort of thing, you know, with our course. I feel like I'm learning so much. Really an incredible opportunity.
Very insightful to be on the other side of the camera, actually having the responsibility as a coach to deliver and articulate what you're wanting to say. Yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic start. I really enjoyed it.
The idea behind the media scenarios was to try and really connect them up to their 360, bring them in, put them under a little bit of pressure, use the collaboration we've got with Cardiff Met Sport TV to try to get the coaches to think about their own practice, just really work on developing themselves in those sort of pressure situations that will come under when they're moving forward with their coaching journey.
You're never going to be prepared for what it comes like when you're sitting in a media room and you're getting asked questions. What you can do is prepare yourself in opportunities like this where you can review it, look back.
I think today's been really positive. The engagement with the candidates has been great. They often don't get time to reflect on their own personal practice, and so I think this is hopefully going to enlighten them, make them make quicker change and a bit more beneficial changes will benefit Welsh rugby as well.
It's been really positive, and the coaches have been really happy to join in. We've asked some important questions and put them on the spot really, but besides the pressure, they just enjoyed working alongside of us.
The emphasis has not been on teaching, but on development. So long as they leave thinking they've learnt something, that would be all I'd ask.
Really getting the feel, the flavour of what it would be like in these settings is fantastic value. It's value added for us on the programme, it's value added for the Welsh Rugby Union and the coaches here, and hopefully it's value added for the students to get a really authentic experience and something that we really love.
Now, earlier, Edinburgh played the Cardiff Met Women's here on Rugby 1 as well. Cardiff Met managed to come away victorious with a 29-21 win. But I'm joined now with someone who played the match herself, fullback Maddie Hughes. Maddie, welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, let's get your thoughts on that game earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game for sure. We definitely came out a little bit slower than we wanted to. Energy was down a little bit, but we had a nice talk at halftime. Our coach Lisa does a really good job of firing us up and kind of getting us ready to go. Just brought like some little details to our attention about what we needed to change. Energy kind of being the biggest one. Yeah, and I thought we came out in the second half and when we turned it around, we showed a lot of resilience. Yeah, and I thought it was a great game for sure.
Obviously, brought it back in that second half. But you obviously were on the bench, had played a lot of the game, but in that final 5 minutes, but Edinburgh, scored that try, had that final conversion. What was going through your head in those final 5 minutes, watching from the sidelines, hoping that Cardiff Met can hang on?
Yeah, I think they scored with like 6.5 or 7 minutes left, and they got the conversion. So definitely they were trying to pull back. But I thought we did a really good job of just kind of like weathering the storm a little bit. Yeah, I was pretty confident in our girls. We unloaded the bench for a reason. Like we've got great people ready to come in and bring the energy. So yeah, I wasn't too worried. But they were still coming strong. So I knew we had to just kind of play our game.
And obviously, you played the game. You've never played Edinburgh before. For you, how were they as a side?
Yeah, I thought they brought a lot of pace. They're strong, they're fast, they're physical, and when you have those three things, that's a deadly combination. So I thought they did really well. Yeah, like I said, they put pace onto the ball really well. They were really good at communicating with each other, and yeah, I just thought they played really physical, so hats off to them.
And obviously it is your first year playing for Cardiff Met. How are you settling into the team?
Yeah, good. I'm having a really good time. I'm enjoying my teammates for sure. And I like Cardiff so far. I've only been here about a month, so have a lot more exploring to do, but I'm settling in well, so yeah.
So obviously your first time playing BUCS Women's Super Rugby. You played back home in North Carolina as well. What is the difference? Is there any difference between playing rugby here versus back in America?
Yeah, I think there's a big difference. I think the main difference is rugby is just a minority sport right now in the United States comparatively to here. Obviously, you see how many people are here. It's kind of a big deal here. But yeah, I think it's definitely, the pace is faster, it's more physical, and you just have people who've been playing since such a young age. And I think that really makes a difference in terms of skill, right? Like catch, pass, kicking, all that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a step up for me, but I'm enjoying it. It's a challenge, so I've had a good time so far.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Obviously, congratulations on your guys' win earlier. If you didn't manage to catch that game earlier, there are highlights up on our YouTube channel on Cardiff Met Sport TV. But now I'm going to hand you back to Joe Cowell, who we heard from earlier, and Daff back on commentary to go over the highlights of the earlier game.
Thank you so much, Libby. We are back here up in the gantry, and I'm joined by the ex-Met captain himself, Joe Cowell, and we're going to go through a lovely little recap of the very exciting game that we've been coming up against in this first half. We can just see, just at the start of the match, just a lot of kicking game and a lot of a kicking battle there from both sides.
Yeah, you can imagine that that's probably one of the main things that they've talked about pre-game. Obviously the weather, it being raining all the way prior to kick-off and into the first sort of, well, it's still going now. So I think kicking and territory battle is going to be massive here in the game and certainly the second half. You can see quite a few errors coming in off high balls as well. So it's just about whoever can control the territory battle the most the second half, I think.
And you can see as well, both teams are keeping a lot of the play in the pack there. But with these drop balls and these scrums just repeating on them, it's going to be a very tough time 1-8 to try and keep into that game.
Yeah, I think obviously, drop balls and things like that, scrums are going to happen, but it's going to take a toll eventually on one or the other team. And I think, it's a massive mental battle as well. If you can get the front foot in the scrum, get penalties, anything like that, it's going to be massive to carry on in the game. And
let's talk about Swansea's discipline here. 2 yellow cards in the first half. The first one here coming from the number 11. Elliot Smith.
Yeah, just a bit of a silly decision. Obviously, nowadays anything that's going to be any sort of deliberate is going to be a straight yellow. But I think under pressure, it's a definite line break if it does go to hand to Cardiff. So he had to go for it, and unfortunately come off second best.
And again, we see some great defensive work there from the Swansea side, just keeping that Met attack at nil until we saw that maul just before the half-time whistle went.
Yeah, obviously in this play as well, you can see a move off the scrum, good transition coming from Met, and a decent scramble by Swansea. But you think at half-time, Met have had quite a few chances. And they only come away with 7 points, and I think a couple of times with the penalties they could have gone for 3 points, but to get that try before half time, like you said, is vital for Cardiff Met going into the second half.
And it's so important as well for these attacks. Just you can see there, just off a scrappy little drop ball there from Swansea. It's just really good to see the Met side utilise from these mistakes from Swansea and ultimately get into the 22.
Yeah, and it's good transition as well from Cardiff Met. Obviously, bit of a poor kick coming from Swansea's 10, and then Jack Walsh picks the ball up, and his instant thought is to attack the ball. You can see how quickly Cardiff Met are trying to react to the ball there, and eventually off this play comes a yellow card. So yes, it's been all right so far.
Can you repeat that, Libby? So obviously now you see the Met team waiting to come out, and Ian Gardner just having a chat with the boys at half-time. What do you think's going on in that changing room, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame guards for probably talking about the error count in the first half, and obviously having 2 penalties that went too long from kick as well. And I think the main question that guards will be asking at half-time is how good can we be in terms of transition, and how good can we be in terms of discipline as well. I think we spoke earlier about whoever can control a territory, whoever can control discipline in the second half will be massive.
And obviously with both teams waiting to come out now, who do you think will be coming on to really make an impact for both sides? Obviously there's a lot of special players on the bench there. Who do you think is going to be coming on and really ready to make the change?
Yeah, I think obviously the front rows will probably be looked at now within the next sort of 10-15 minutes or so. Obviously quite a sluggy game and a lot of scrums and mauls and stuff. So you can imagine that both coaches will be looking to have those substitutions soon. And then just looking to see if there's any sort of depth or any sort of experience in the backs as well, and on the bench to try and see the game out as well.
And obviously you've probably spent a lot of time on this pitch through the years here at Cardiff Met. And what would you be saying to the boys now if you were still part of that team? You had that number 3 jersey on your back. What would be your team talk as captain if you were there today?
I think they've got to take confidence. Obviously, scoring late on in the first half, is obviously vital for their momentum and their confidence going into the second half. I think the main 2 points that'll be talked about at half-time is just discipline and territory. If you can get the ball turned Swansea, let them play from their 22. It's a wet day, the ball's going to be greasy, the floor's greasy as well. Back your systems, back how the way you want to play, and force them to make the errors. If they're making the errors inside their half, when we get the ball back, we can play for penalties. And once we get those penalties, get the points on the board, take the threes, keep the clock ticking over. We're down to they're down to 14 men for the first 10 minutes of the second half as well. There's going to be spaces going on in that game, so it's just about managing the ball correctly, managing territory, managing discipline, and getting points on the board.
Can you hear the passion in your voice there, Joe? And it's just, we spoke to Libby earlier as well about having a little appearance in the Prem squad in a few weeks. Do you miss being on Rugby 1? especially with these BSR derbies. You've got Swansea Uni, you've got Clash. Do you miss it?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly miss it. I think the thing you miss the most is playing week in, week out with some of your best mates. I think, any time you get an opportunity to play on a Wednesday night for Cardiff Met was always a special occasion wherever you played. Even cold winter night on Rugby 1 or up in Durham. It's a special team to be a part of. It's a special place to be on Rugby 1 on a Wednesday, and yeah, obviously you miss it, but it's something that you'll always remember, definitely.
And obviously you played on that Saturday Prem game. It was against Brecon, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And you ended up bagging a try yourself.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
In the claret and gold colours. Was it nice to get another point there, another cheeky try for Cardiff Met?
Yeah, I didn't have many, to be honest, in my 4 years. So to get one more was brilliant. It was nice. Having a bit of game time, playing one more time for Cardiff Met was brilliant. Obviously, coming into my last year at Cardiff Met, I got injured at the end of the season, so I never really had that sort of final goodbye. And I think to be able to have that opportunity to come back, play for Cardiff Met against Brecon or whoever it may have been, yeah, it was brilliant, to be fair.
And obviously looking at this game now, we see that both teams and Cardiff Uni as well are in the business end of this league. 8th for Cardiff Met, 10th for Swansea Uni. How do you think this league's going to go, and what do you think the main goal is for both teams this season?
Yeah, I think obviously anything can happen in BUCS Super Rugby, and the best thing about this league is top 8 always goes through to the quarterfinals. So, there's been times before where teams have been around like 7th, 8th, and then ended up getting through to the semis or the finals. And it all matters about who can peak and momentum going into those quarterfinals. For Swansea, obviously not winning a game so far this season is massive for them to try and get a scalp on Cardiff Met or whoever it may be. And for Cardiff Met, it's just about finding that groove, finding a bit of momentum, because I'm sure that with the players that they've got in that team, the momentum that they can build by winning games will see them very good into the back end of the season.
And we see the players ready to come back out for another wet second half here on Rugby 1. 7-3 the score is to Met, and there should definitely be some more points in this game. Maybe not many, but a try or two would be very, very beneficial for the Met side today, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, any points will be good. I mean, if you can get 5-7 points on a scoreboard early, that's brilliant. But obviously penalties as well. If you can build a score, that's even better.
And you can see as well with Mets games looking forward, looking back, you've had some tough games. Bath at home 2 weeks ago, Durham last week, Exeter first game of the season. 3 losses there out of 4. But they're really, really close games, aren't they?
Yeah, they were, and I think obviously there's obviously positives to take from that as well. I think going all the way up to Durham and losing by 3 is sometimes can be seen as a good game. I think obviously travelling all the way up to Durham is a long old bus journey in the morning, and to try and get yourself physically and mentally prepared for that game is half a battle of the rugby match. And I think to lose pretty much in the last play as well by 3 points, I think they can take a lot of positives from that. Going into the next few games up towards Christmas.
And it's going to be Cardiff Met coming out after Swansea Uni to get this second half underway.
Yeah, I think we can see that there's already been a change as well to Cardiff Met. Sam Berry on in the number 22 jersey. Had quite a fair bit of experience as well playing BUCS Super Rugby and the Prem and the Championship as it was before. So I think Guard's making that change has seen him trying to, again, like we spoke about earlier, managing the game a little bit better and trying to put the pressure back onto Swansea.
And you're looking at that fly-half role as well. You've got Vic Asmeyer, Ross McKay, Ellis Payne that's just come off, and you've got Sam Berry there. A lot of big talent in that 10 shirt. Do you think it's always good to have that talent on a game like this as well? Just having that half-time change and having a fresh pair of legs at that 10 slot?
Yeah, definitely. I think Cardiff Met are quite lucky having top quality 10s throughout the teams, and I think having this change now, it probably suits Bears a little bit better in terms of managing this game out a little bit more. He's had that experience, he's had a lot of exposure to BUCS Super Rugby. Ellis Payne, in fairness to himself, got stuck in the first half, and he did play well. A couple of errors, but that's rugby. And I think for Sam Berry to come on now is a lot of responsibility on his shoulders to lead Cardiff Met through to victory, I think.
And we see Kai Inter there kicking off the second half, and another box kick into touch, and another line out.
Yeah, you can imagine they're going to try and hit up hard in the midfield here and maybe try and turn or try and get to an edge somehow and then fall back into some sort of shape. I think the idea is now try and play multi-phase, work for a penalty and just start racking up those points now.
And you see that man there, Jack Morris. He hasn't put a foot wrong there, but just the ref not giving it there and giving it the other way.
Yeah, you can see as well there's been a whole front row change. Will Pearson and Alex Wakefield. Again, Alex Wakefield having quite a few number of games in BUCS Super Rugby as well. Experienced player, trying to basically shore up the scrum a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, and you got a big sub as well at the scrum half position. Ian Gardner obviously looking to change this game around with the subs. Maxime Van Halis taken off and Sean Davis on. But another error there from the Cardiff Met scrum raises the ref's hand in favour of Swansea Uni.
Yeah, this is going to be tough here. I think Swansea started trying to create Cardiff Met scrum in the first half, and it's a massive mental battle as well. In terms of momentum, in terms of confidence, going into the nitty-gritty parts of rugby like the scrums and the mauls. Swansea having that front foot now. You can imagine they're looking to try and drive this ball.
And we see a line out here from the Swansea side, just inside the 22 of Cardiff Met, begging to get some more points on that board after conceding late into that first half. And the mauls have been a very popular option for both sides today. Just keeping that ball up the jumper and just trying to make the yards straight through brute force and strength from the pack.
Yeah, pretty good defence here by Cardiff Met as well. Swansea haven't really gone very far. But now, like we said earlier, this is all about discipline here. If we can stay on top, no penalties, try and win the ball back, put pressure back onto Swansea.
There's some big hits there from the pack, sending green and black shirts back onto the other side of that 22-metre line.
There we go. Brilliant there by Will Owen. Seen a couple of times now they're leaving rucks, trying to keep numbers on feet, to try and bring a bit of line speed to put pressure on Swansea. And then Will Owen, when the time was right, to get his head stuck in there and win a ball back for Cardiff Met.
Will Owen, he's been a real Met veteran over the years for Cardiff Met, and to get one up on the Swansea Uni side there, and you can just see there they've made a good few metres there into Swansea Uni's half. He knows big games when he sees it, and he's always very clinical, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a proud dad with Will, to be honest. He kind of came into the fold coming towards the end of my last couple of years with Cardiff Met, and to see him come into the BSR team and play really well is it's really good for him.
You see a thundering hit there. Cian Lewis just slipping away from the ball, turning it over. And again you see Tal Rees testing Isaac Marsh at fullback. And a thunder from the gantry as Met clear the kick straight onto the halfway zone.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be playing too much inside anyway from their 40 inwards, Cardiff Met. I think if they get any sort of ball in and around their 22, they just need to get it off the field, try and turn Swansea.
Great take there from the captain, Geth Cannon, who's been a brilliant servant to Archers Rugby, wearing that maroon and gold jersey with pride every single time he comes onto the field.
Yeah, he's extremely consistent as well, Geth. He always puts everything into the jersey, and that's all you can ask really, especially as a coach. You want him to give everything, come off the field knowing that he's given absolutely everything for the jersey.
You see glimpses of attack there from Dylan Scott on the other side there, a little chip and chase, not going his way, but it's good to see the Met top try scorer this season getting just a little glimmer of attack and hoping to get past that whitewash soon.
Yeah, you're going to imagine now it's going to be a short kick from the scrum half and contestable, so looking at Isaac Marsh to try and get under the ball here and secure the ball for Cardiff Met.
Great take there from Isaac Marsh. Coming into the role there, just getting his chances in the BSR squad, especially this season. He's a great player to have for the Met side, especially at fullback. The amount of height he gets on them high balls and just the safety you get. It's been tough for him tonight, but you would say he's a very crucial part of the first team in BSR.
Yeah, I've overheard him trying to call himself a golden eagle, to be honest. So, you know, he works hard in fairness. I'm sure many people would have seen his daily vlogs on Instagram in Kaizen Rugby. You know, he's a tremendous player, tremendous bloke as well, and he works hard in fairness to him. And you know, he's deserving a very deserved shot at full-back for the start of the season as well. He's been playing well in fairness to him.
And we see yet another long and high box kick there. And Isaac Marsh, the man we've been talking about, the so-called golden eagle, under it again.
Yeah, it's so crucial to have that clean ball as well, to have secure ball, have a full-back that's confident enough to get up and secure the ball, and then, you know, it takes a lot of pressure off you running back, knowing that the ball's somewhat safe in the hands of Isaac Marsh as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming from a point of view of the pack as well, having someone with such safe hands in the air definitely saves the match fitness there, not having to run back and scrum down there.
Well,
really.
I used to enjoy that, to be honest, but yeah, no, I think the boys will be happy with that, especially, you know, it's a greasy ball tonight, and you know, probably got in their heads it's going to be quite a few scrums, but yeah, it's brilliant to have that ability to catch a ball and have a clean platform to play off.
And look at the boys that have come off the field and the boys that have come on in them 1 and 3 shirts. It's always crucial, especially you being a prop as well for Cardiff Met, just having them substitutes coming on at half-time, especially straight after half-time as well. It's just crucial for them scrums just to keep it flowing.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, it's important now that they bounce back from that penalty and at the early start of that second half at the scrum time. I think they just got to, you know, back themselves, back their drill. You know, they do a lot of reps in training week on week, and I think, you know, they just got to be able to know that they're ready to scrum whenever they want to.
And that's a great kick there from Sam Berry. 50-22 for the man, or should I say 22-22, straight in to the 22 of Swansea Uni there. What a kick from the man.
Yeah, this is what we talked about, wasn't it, at half-time, how much territory can Cardiff Met have, and it's all about territory and discipline now, and bringing on someone like Sam Berry, like we said earlier, experienced, knows how to play the game, knows how to see a game out. To be able to have that now, an unbelievable momentum switch for Cardiff Met here. They're now playing inside the Swansea 22, looking to try and get some points on the board here, no doubt.
And it looks like 2 members of the Swansea Uni side coming on the field to make an impact. Gethin Howell comes on the field, and Matthew Price, and is that? I think that's Matthew Price coming off the field there.
Yeah, it looks like Swansea are back up to 15 men now after that yellow. Back in the back end of that first half, so an equal playing field now.
Yeah, Swansea Uni finally back up to 15 players will be very beneficial for them in this second half now, especially whilst coming in to their 22 in defence.
Yeah, it's all about ball retention here. Oh, I'd say that, commentator's curse. Yeah, you just want to just try and keep the ball. Oh, there we are. I mean, the main idea there, you just want to try and keep the ball there, try and go multi-phase and either get a line break and look to try and get 5 points, but even if you can play for a penalty there, you know, just rack up the points on the board. You take that to 10-3, you know, a little bit of confidence there, but yeah, good turnover by Swansea.
And it's going to come to that point into the game, Joe, that I'm going to have to swap you back with Eben Pearce, our co-commentator for the day. But just before you go, I want you to just give me your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in this second half now for both sides.
Yeah, I think obviously we spoke about it so many times, but it's all about whichever team can control the discipline and their territory the best. I think they'll see the game out. You know, obviously the main idea in this weather, it's a greasy ball, want to turn teams, let them play out from their 22, play for penalties and rack up some points on the board. But yeah, very interesting last 30, I think.
Thank you so much, Joe. Hopefully we'll see you in a claret and gold jersey again very soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And I'm back here with Eben for the second half. Brilliant chat there with Joe Cowell, a great man that's been up in this country many times to feature on a broadcast here down at Rugby 1. But Eben, you've been watching the first 10 minutes of this game in the second half. What are your thoughts and feelings on what's happened so far? Again, just repeating a lot of what happened in the first half there. Just very nitty-gritty stuff in the mauls and the scrums.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed that first 10 minutes of this half. It was nice to have a different insight. Obviously, Joe, very experienced rugby player. Some great comments by him. But no, it was nice to sit back and kind of see what is going on. It's lovely to see Isaac Marsh now growing into this game. He's been better under those high balls in the second half. Met keeping the ball well. They are now on their own 5 metre line. But no, I'm confident now that Met can finish the job.
And yet another maul there for the Swansea Uni side. And an advantage from the ref. And Tian, you saw Tian there, Tal Rees rather, with the cheeky little kick over the top of the Cardiff Met defence. But it just wasn't enough.
Those changes by Met since half-time. Ian Gardner's done the right thing there, bringing some fresh legs into the side. Max Berry, I believe, coming into that fly half position. He started very well, some lovely kicks over that 22-22 you mentioned earlier, Dav.
Yes, it was a brilliant kick there from Sam Berry. But the ref comes back for the penalty for Swansea Uni. And Tal Rees kicks it into touch. Just looking back here. Brilliant there from Tal Rees. A little chip over the top. But it just wasn't enough for them, but they come back for the advantage.
Could have been a case of obstruction by Mike Hansen there, but the ref lets it go. More spoiled by Met on their own 5 metre line.
Brilliant D there from the Met side. Trying to claw that ball away from the Swansea Uni hands in them rucks.
If Met can keep at this defence, keep chiselling away, they will force the mistake eventually. It's just a case of keep carrying on and holding their ground on their own try line.
And a penalty for Cardiff Met there. Crossing, says the referee. And Cardiff Met destroy any chance of attack and a try for the Swansea side.
That's phenomenal by Met.
Sam Berry's taking it quick in the 22. They're away in the half-metre line. Dylan Scott with the ball. He runs all the way, he's into the 22. He gets taken down. Brilliant attacking play there from Sam Berry.
That just shows how electric this Met side can be when they do get the chance. They've just ran off their own 5 metre line into the Swansea 22. Great carries there, but Sam Berry with the ball out and Dylan Scott gaining some serious yards.
Big carry there from Alex Wakefield. The change in momentum from 22 to 22 and another penalty. Sean Davis takes it quick to the line. 5 metres out.
Met needs some discipline about them now. Don't force this.
And a quick carry there for the big man himself, Alex Wakefield. Bagging a try in the second half for Cardiff Met.
Was it Wakefield or was it Smith, Dav?
We'll have to check the replay on that one. 18 I saw on the back. Some big carries there for Met. You can see both 8. Yeah, you can see Alex Wakefield there. And he was behind Ollie Smith, who actually scored the try. I've been proved wrong. Ollie Smith there with the try. The Met veteran himself, bagging 5 points. And can Sam Berry
That is as good an attack as you're going to see this season. Forcing the penalty in their own half, on their own try line, breaking away into the Swansea 22. A couple phases and over they crash.
An unbelievable try there for the Met side. A beautiful team try in my opinion. Going from 22 to 22. Sam Berry with the quick thinking and gaining major yards there for Cardiff Met and ultimately scoring the try. And we see Dylan Scott getting a bit of treatment here on the halfway line, but he gets up and he's ready for the restart. The try scorer, Ollie Smith, with the take.
Met are going to hope to run away with this now. You know, that try, the second try is a turning point in this game. They'll be boiling with confidence, getting Cannon leading from the front. They will be attacking on all fronts here.
And a lost ball there. Gives a line out to the Swansea side. Jack Walsh not happy with that one, shaking his head on the side of the pitch there. Thinking that the decision should have been the other way. And yet another maul for the Swansea side. A very popular move that's gone on today in these lineouts.
It suits the conditions, doesn't it, Dav? You know, the scrums and the mauls, keeping the ball nice and tight and kind of gaining tiny yards.
And Tian there with a chip over, spilled by Isaac Marsh, and Swansea Uni are back in possession. That's Yayan Bissell with the ball there. And the ref is reaching into his pocket. And it's a yellow card. A yellow card there for Will Pearce. The ref not shy to reach into his pocket for that yellow card yet again today. Discipline from the referee is a big one for him today.
I feel like he's been excellent today as well, Dav, in his communication. You know, obviously giving out 3 yellow cards, but all 3 of them were probably deserved. You know, his communication on the pitch has been second to none. We can hear him from up here in the gantry, and yeah, a very good performance by the man in the middle as well tonight.
And you can just hear the cries of the Cardiff Met fans cheering their team on in defence. We see a dangerous attack here from Swansea Uni. Elliott Smith to Tim Davis, and he's over. Could the comeback be on for Swansea Uni?
Tim Davis has been phenomenal this season. He shows that class again there. A great break to the outside by Elliott Smith, and he finds the ball to Tim, who crosses over the line to bring Met back into this game.
A brilliant bit of redemption there from the man who got yellow carded in the first half. Tal Rees there. Elliott Smith using his pace to get on the other side of Sam Berry. And Tim Davis down for the finish.
It's a great line by Tim Davis, leaving Isaac Marsh to make a decision whether to commit to him or go on to the outside man. Ultimately makes the wrong decision and lets Tim Davis through.
And Tal Rees there with the extras. Clawing back into this game, Swansea Uni, 14-10. 4 points difference. Could the visitors have a bit of a comeback and maybe go down the M4 with a win today?
You know, that will knock Cardiff Met back, a try for themselves, and then concede within minutes. They'll be gutted, but yeah, that'll fill the Swansea boys with confidence, and now it's their turn to kind of use the momentum and push towards the Met line again.
And you see the man again, Kai Inca with another box kick. Into touch there, using that boot effectively throughout the whole of this 60 minutes. confusion here. The ref telling Cardiff Met to get on with it and get into the line-out.
They'll be happy to see that.
A spilled ball.
To waste a bit of time here and recompose.
Mike Hansen doing well there to keep the ball. And a cheeky touch from Isaac Marsh.
Showing that experience again. You know, he played with Gloucester in the Premiership. He's very friendly with Zammit and Varney, who've recently been called up, and he shows that class yet again.
Ex-flatmates call up to the Welsh squad for Isaac Marsh.
I bet he'll hope to follow in their tracks, though.
And the ref giving a free kick there to Cardiff Met. The Swansea Uni side not listening and just keeping that gap closer than it should be. Silly mistakes there from the Swansea side. But a great tie ball there from Tim Davis. And he keeps going. An offload, another offload. Brilliant offload there from Theo Curry. And the boys in green and black are still going. But the ball is taken into touch.
That's another glimpse of what Swansea can do. You know, the fast ball coming out and attacking those wider areas. Again, the ball does end up in touch, but this game is far from done here, Dav.
The glimmers of hope there from the Swansea side. 4 points down. Trying to claw back into this one and get their best on Cardiff Met here tonight.
Opportunity for the Met boys to regroup, speak about what's going to come next, as Gethin Cannon receives some treatment, I believe. No, sorry, it was Cardiff Davis down.
And a mistake there from the Cardiff Met side in the line-out. Just knocking that ball on. And the screams come out from the Swansea side.
So like them again, you know, they've been really well. They've done really well tonight, the hookers. But you know, the ball going wrong there, and ultimately a scrum.
We set down now for another Cardiff Met scrum. A Swansea Uni scrum, sorry. Met being a man down in the scrum as well. Extra competition for them to really try. And they have the grit and determination of Cardiff Met there, even with a man down in the scrum. They've nicked the penalty from that scrum.
You can see the tension starting to rise here. They have a couple niggles in the end of that scrum there. Sean Davis wanted to take the ball quickly, and the Swansea boys weren't having it.
The clock is slowly ticking down. 15 minutes left in this game. Cardiff Met still just about on top of this one.
The Met boys will think that 15 minutes is way too long now. They'll have to get another try, if not two, just to make sure they're safe in this game.
And Jack Morris there with a little sigh of relief on that one. Not straight, but no contest from Swansea Uni. Play on, says the referee.
Very tidy grubber by Sam Berry, that one. Splitting that full-back and the winger.
And safe hands there from Isaac Marsh.
There's an acres of space, and we know what he can do with ball in hand.
Hit there. Isaac Marsh safe in the hands, gaining a bit of metres there, but is put to the ground quickly by the man mountain that is Cian Tappan. And Swansea looking to attack you.
It's a breakdown security again by Met, you know, not being able to seal off that breakdown, and the ball's ultimately turned over again.
And that was a close one there from Toby Clinch, almost getting his hands on that.
These double hits are something we see so often by Met. They must be smashing them out in training, and they're so effective. You can kind of feel the shake that goes through the body of the attacker when he receives one of those.
And Swansea Uni with a penalty again, says the referee. Straight over the top, the ref says.
This game's been so all over the place, David. Momentum doesn't last very long for either team. You know, Met have phases where they fly down the pitch, and then next minute it's a penalty Swansea, and now they have momentum. It's just exactly what's happened here.
And it just goes to show how just these small mistakes can have devastating outcomes. As you can see, Swansea marching up into the 22.
It's not a nice place to be for Wills Austin. It's lying now right in front of some of the Met Ultras. But he nails this one as well.
And another yellow card there from the referee.
Harry Silman, I believe, who looked just as shocked as everyone else in this place.
Another sending off there for Cardiff Met. The ref is taking no prisoners today when it comes to discipline.
It's a really odd one, that, Dav.
Can just have a look back at it now. You can see Harry Silman spoiling the maul there and just leaving a bit of a silly mistake on the pitch, and he's off for 10 minutes.
It's that discipline again, Dav. You know, it wasn't something that needed to be done.
A knock on there from Swansea Uni on the white blades of grass.
Over the line. They'll be gutted about that, Dav. They won't get many better chances than that to
They
bring
took
themselves
the
in
chance
this game.
there. Trying to get over that whitewash at the end. Just knocking it on in this cold, wet Rugby 1. And it's a scrum down for Met. 5 metres out from the try line.
Samberry will look to use that boot again, gain themselves some territory. Something Joe mentioned with you in the first 10 minutes of this half, Dav, something that's so important is that territory game, ensuring they're far enough away from their own 5 metre line and gaining slowly on the opposition try line. Some tired legs down there now, Dav. A few of the boys cramping.
Just going to say the boys are dropping down, and a few more players just taking that knee and struggling in the final 10 minutes of this game.
It's an enormous ask, to be fair. You know, it's been an end-to-end game, very open. Plenty of running for the forwards to do, and it is gonna show on them by the end.
And a huge scrum there from Swansea, taking advantage of the 2 men up there.
From what I saw there, I believe Will Owen popped it down before he picked it back up, which would mean that was not a penalty, but the ref thinks differently.
Just having a quick word with Willow in there. Crawling with the ball, he says.
It's so vital now. The Cardiff Met spoil this line out, get the ball out to Samberry and get rid of that ball.
A big heave here from the Swansea Uni side in the maul. Inches from the line. And a big carry, trying to get closer and closer to that line. Inches away. But Samberry almost getting the ball on that. And these penalties keep on coming for Cardiff Met here in their own 22. Discipline, a big problem here.
Opted for the scrum, Dav.
I think a very wise choice there from Swansea Uni.
I agree, we saw in that last scrum the enormous shunt by them. And that now isolates the forwards in one place and gives the backs an opportunity or a platform to play off of.
And a big shunt there from the Swansea side. Advantage, says the referee, and it's Kai Inca showing resilience in that carry, but he's held up there on the line with Archer's shirt surrounding him.
I think it's Samberry again, Dav, holding Kai Inca up again.
And it looks like the Swansea Uni side up for another scrum after the first one, and that play went very well for them.
Met are going to expect that play now, so I'd expect something different by Swansea. Do they go through Tal Rees's hands and try and spread it wide here?
Samberry needs to be wary of that scrum half. Kai Inca, who might take the ball himself again. But Cardiff Met with the grunt and resilience in their 5 metre with a man down. Miraculously turn the ball over from a penalty in that scrum.
That's an enormous effort by Cardiff Met there, forcing Swansea to wheel that scrum around, not holding their ground, and it's a chance now for Samberry to get rid of the ball.
Late into this match, 74 minutes on the clock. A real turning point there for Cardiff Met, who looked almost certain to concede a try there, have turned it around and have got up the field into the dying moments of this match.
You see that again, they've got the discipline when they want to use it. You know, it's that determination there to work as a team, hold that Swansea attack off, and ultimately it pays off.
And you can see the momentum of the Cardiff Met side being used there in the maul, still going now. And a nice high box kick there from Sean Davis. Great take from the fullback.
The Ultras are starting to raise their voices now as well, Dav. That's going to pay off crucially for this Met side.
If there's one thing that the Cardiff Met will need in these last 5 minutes, is that 16th man coming into play yet again on Rugby 1, like it has so many times before.
You look over there, they're all drenched, but it doesn't seem to bother them at all. They're all chanting their mates on. Get them through this last 5 minutes.
And you can see there Alex Wakefield just getting seen to there by the medic. It's been a long half for the man at number 18, coming on early into the second half and having to scrum and maul every 5 minutes for the Met side, but he has really made that impact today.
Credit to all the Met props, you know, the front row, they've worked so hard. Both boys behind them, Geth Cannon and Ollie Smith, have grafted to the absolute max today in every single scrum.
And I think this is going to be the favourite scrum for the Met side today, right in front of them Cardiff Met fans. There may be a man down, but them fans on the other side are really going to be pushing that side on.
This is a great chance to get the ball out to Dylan Scott on the wing.
Solid scrum
Give
there
him
from
an
Met.
opportunity.
And a great carry there from Willowing. Fingertips there from Ollie Smith. Very close from the man mounted himself, but a turnover deep into the Swansea side.
That's a great hit by Gethin Cannon. Demolishes the Swansea winger.
We can see short. We can see here the number 9, Kayinka. No, Kayinka's gone off the field. And Reece Price in his place with the kicking duties off the ruck.
Isaac Marsh again, safe hands, beating that first defender. And a clean ball to the back of the ruck.
And a real contest here between the two scrum halves. Box kick after box kick. And a knock on there from Met. Swansea Uni getting the better out of that one and looking to go wide. Big kick there from Ian Bissell for an interception. Logan Jones there with a kick, the new man on the field to Sam Berry. Controversy here. Swansea Uni sideline saying that he went back inside the 22, Sam Berry.
Yeah,
but the lineout is sticking with his decision.
Yeah, Bissell having a right shout at the linesman here, thinking the ball was taken back into the 22 before it was kicked. Apparently not.
And as we see Ollie Smith down on the field there, coming to the end of the match. Airburn, it's been a hard-fought match from both sides today. Not the highest scoreboard we've seen in BSR competition, but you've been set the job of awarding today's player of the match.
I'll be honest with you, Dav, it's not an easy job at all. There's not been much to get excited about in this game, but I've been thoroughly impressed with both second rowers, Gethin Cannon some enormous hits, great rucking, sealing off that breakdown and securing that clean ball. But today it's going to have to go to Ollie Smith. Again, great tackles, some great carries, great determination, and the try to his name. So yeah, today's player of the match goes to Ollie Smith.
And it's quite fitting there, the man who was down on the floor there has just been given the player of the match award there.
You see that determination again, he's back on his feet. He's going for that ball again, he was backing that line out there. He never gives up, does this lad.
And we're coming close to the final whistle. Sam Berry kicking for touch off the penalty.
That's an enormous
kick. And it's a
kick.
brilliant kick from the number 10.
Sam Berry winning the boys a line out on the Swansea 5 metre line here.
And a quick turnaround here from Met. 5 metres into the Swansea 22. Could they bag another try here just before the final whistle? And the big maul.
That works so well. And they're driving again here towards the line. Everyone slowly joining in. The ball's at the back with Alex Wakefield. But it's dropped over the line, Dav.
So close of another try there. for Cardiff Met in dying moments of this game. But Swansea bounce back again. Ball in hand for another penalty. Just looking back at that close maul there from Cardiff Met.
It's an enormous shove.
Just a spilled ball there from Sean Davis. And he could have been there underneath the posts. So close, but yes, so far.
Heartbreak for the Welsh scrum half there. Having come onto this game and made quite the impact that, you know, his passing's been spot on. Some of his decision making has been excellent, but couldn't quite get the cherry on top there. Alfie Blackett introduced into the Met 15 here.
And it's a steal there. And another steal back. Cardiff Met steal, and so does Swansea Uni. And Swansea Uni are on the attack now. Willowin desperately grabbing hold of that ball.
You could see the determination on Gethin Cannon's face there, holding that Swansea player up, ensuring the free kick for Met. This has to be the last play of the game, has it, Dav?
I think Geth Cannon, the captain, and Willowin have done a serious job to keep hold. And they've given the scrum, and surely the ref will be looking to blow that final whistle here at Rugby 1. Sam Berry off the scrum there, a massive kick. And it's dropped there. Good. From Elliott Smith, pressure on the winger. Ooh, and that's a bad tackle there. A straight yellow card for the centre, Cian Lewis.
Fourth yellow card of the match for this.
He threw his hands up straight away there. You know he did wrong. Nothing you can do about that for the 12 of Cardiff Met there. It's a tough tackle there.
I think he committed a bit early to that tackle, ended up being borderline seatbelt, and obviously zero tolerance on that in today's game, unfortunately.
And Alfie Blackett, the big man himself, making a presence in the final moments of this game. He's played well the last few weeks for the Met side.
He is a giant as well, isn't he, Dav?
He's absolutely massive.
Hard carrier. See it again, the leg drive after contact.
But Swansea Uni get the penalty in the breakdown. This game is far from over. Well into the 80-minute mark, and we're still going here on Rugby 1. The drama continues. And a massive kick there from the replacement 10, Logan Jones, sorry.
You can see the Swansea fans flooding down to that corner now to get behind those boys in one of the final mauls of this game. It's a golden chance for Swansea to put themselves in the lead and ultimately win this game, Dav.
You can just hear the eruption of the sideline Swansea Uni staff there, how much it means to them. They've bought every single player in Swansea Uni have got into that maul, bar 3 players.
The ball is at the back with Wales Austin.
A 12-man maul here from Swansea Uni.
Going back to the Wales days when they put 15 in, Dav.
And it's Elliott Smith getting dragged
tackle
into touch. Full time here at Rugby 1.
That is
Heartbreak
phenomenal
for Swansea Uni.
You know, it's tough for Swansea there. Obviously, they played well under the conditions and ultimately just went wrong in the final moments. But it's the determination by that Cardiff Met defence. I've said this so many times tonight, but it's been so important. It's the ball at the back of the maul. Wills Austin carries out. You see there, 12 men in that Swansea maul. He really thought that was going to go over. But Cardiff Met, resilient as ever, as they have been all game. Ball back to the blind side. And a huge... Possibly the wrong decision, Davis. A 3, leaving themselves 3-on-2. And again, Cardiff Met are victorious here on Rugby 1. And we chat more with Libby and Eben.
Congratulations, Cardiff Met. What a night and what a game. Now, I'm joined with Eben now just to talk us through that shocker of a game, quite frankly.
Unbelievable finish. You know, I was stood there in silence, leaving Dav do all the work. It was mental. I genuinely was convinced Swansea were going to cross with that final maul, but ultimately it did. And you can see how much it means to those ultras. They've just erupted down that far corner. No, a great win for Cardiff Met tonight.
Yeah, obviously, just talking about those fans that we can hear in the background, still here, still celebrating, even in the rain. How must that be for the boys playing on the field with all their fans there?
It's phenomenal. You know, they are the 16th man. So important in crucial moments of the game. They get behind the boys and ultimately push them over the line. You know, all throughout the club at Cardiff Met, there's a one club mentality. It's mentioned so many times whenever we get to speak to players or coaches. It's always comes down to that one club mentality, and you know it's shown down that far end tonight.
And Eben, any highlights for you that game?
That Cardiff Met second try. It was phenomenal. You know, the break by Sam Berry, ball out to Dylan Scott, and then Ollie Smith ultimately finished it after a couple of phases down the far end. You know, it shows what Met can do on an attack, on the counter, and yeah, great score.
And obviously we've mentioned Ollie Smith. Was there any other key players for you this evening?
Getting Cannon, the captain, you know, leading by example. Both of them in the second row were phenomenal tonight. I thought Sam Berry, when he came on, was phenomenal. Some great kicks at 22, and that assist for the second try. Isaac Marsh grew into the game in the second half, some great high ball gatherings and beating a couple of defenders.
And just looking ahead to next week, Cardiff Met are playing Nottingham. What should they take from this game onto that one?
Without a doubt, it's every inch of determination they used and squeezed out of themselves towards the end of that game. They turned the ball over twice on their own try line, and that tackle in the end there to take the Swansea player into touch. It's that grit and determination and working as a team just to make sure they get the job done.
Lovely. So it was great to hear from you, Eben. Now I'm just going to be joined with Tom Cowell, who is Head of Performance here at Cardiff Met Rugby. Tom, hello. How are you feeling after that game?
A little frustrated. It wasn't a game for the purists tonight. It was we could see with the conditions how difficult it was to get the game going. So yeah, a frustrating night, but obviously glad to get the win, and the boys showed a lot of heart, in fairness.
Obviously, you mentioned the conditions. It was a very wet night. How do you feel the boys coped with, you know, the conditions given tonight?
Well, I think, you know, obviously it's the same for both teams, isn't it? But I think we moved the ball well early on when it wasn't too slippery. We probably didn't execute the opportunities we created early on, but then later on in the game, when the conditions really became a factor and we couldn't move the ball anymore, you know, the kicking game from Sean Davis and Sam Berry in the second half probably put us in the right area, and we managed the game relatively well at times, but obviously we were our own worst enemy as well. So yeah, frustrating.
And obviously we can hear them. So how did the crowd help this evening?
Oh, they're massive here, the Ultras. In fairness, they always are that 16th man, and I think in an evening like tonight, when the conditions are as they are and a game as tight as it was, they help carry the boys through. So yeah, in that sense, it was a real benefit to have them here. And in fairness to Swansea, they brought a bit of a crowd as well, so it created a great atmosphere. But yeah, they're massive for us every week. In fairness, when we're here, so they've done a great job again.
And what are the plans for the team now, looking to the game ahead?
Oh, look, we'll review that. We'll pick the bones out of it and see where we can get better. Nottingham are a good side and they move the ball really well. So it's going to be a tough game next week. So it's important that we get our preparation right and we go in with the right attitude, ready to play a fast and open game against Nottingham. And yeah, just get ready for a bit of a battle again.
Thank you so much, Tom Cole, for talking to us tonight. Now, we're just going to bring Eben back in now to do some analysis on the game we had. So what do you think of, the conditions we had this evening? What do we think of the game and particularly any of those main highlights from the game?
I think the conditions, weren't the best at all for the boys. So many balls going to ground, so many penalties for handling errors. I feel both teams grew into the conditions towards the second half and kind of eliminated those mistakes. But yeah, it's tough conditions to play in. The ball's slippery, and it being so dry down on the grass as well. The ball's going to slip, the pitch is slippery, and it's just, yeah, it's tough for the boys,
Now, you guys named Ollie Smith as your player of the match this evening. We're just going to have a look at some of his highlights. Talk us through these.
Well, some great hits, as we can see there, sending the Swansea boys back. We saw him do it so many times. Another there again, it's dropping down low and driving those legs through contact. We saw there's a great carry by him there. There's nothing better to see in rugby than a big second rower making a break. And yeah, it's genuinely an all-round great performance by him. It's a tough game to comment on really because nothing much really happened. But I thought he stood out in the midst of it kind of thing, and a try as well to kind of top it off for him.
Now, thank you so much, Eben. It has been a fantastic night here at King Coyd campus. Congratulations again to Cardiff Met. It was a tighter game, maybe tighter than we were expecting, and given the conditions as well, it was a tough game. However, we did speak to Maddie Hughes earlier, so we're just going to show you now the highlights from that game, so stay tuned for those. But for now, from me, Livy ML, it is good night from Cardiff.
In Cardiff Met and University of Edinburgh.
Big mistake that happened on the pitch, whether it's pressed, but then we react to it and we stay on top, yeah?
8, 9, 3!
Yeah, for this season, I'm sure that's to make sure that she gets on the ball more this season.
Lane now with the dummy. That's a fantastic finish from Hannah Lane.
Down the right hand side, as I said, about if Met are going to find a break, it's going to be from here.
Driven forward and the try for Met. Really good running down the right hand side for Met. Cuts inside. Scores. Fantastic try again for Met down that right hand side.
We are all capable and all accountable for our own energy levels.
Happy to go?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Joe Towns and I'm the Programme Director of the Sport Broadcast Master's degree. The Sport Broadcast MSc is all about live production skills, sports broadcast journalism and content creation, whether that's for social media, for podcasts, long-form documentaries or short-form TikTok. On the Sport Broadcast Master's degree, we try and cover every possible role that you could find in the contemporary sports media industry. We want our students to be prepared for all of them, whether that's behind the camera, directing, producing, editing, operating replays, directing a live stream, or if it's on screen, reporting, presenting, commentating. We've designed this course as the perfect stepping stone into the sport broadcast media industry. In terms of broadcast facilities, we have a fully equipped Adobe Lab, which is our newsroom, a TV news gallery, a radio room, brand new podcast studio, and out on the sports fields we have gantries and galleries so that we can live stream football and rugby every week. This course is a practical course, it's hands-on, it's vocational. We really pride ourselves that we're trying to create students that are multi-skilled and ready to take their career in any direction when they leave us. The big advantage of running this course on this campus here at Cardiff Met is that there is elite sport every week, whether that's Wednesday as part of the BUCS competition or so many of our teams playing National League sporting competitions on the weekend. On a Wednesday afternoon, our students could be directing a live stream of BUCS Super Rugby, they might be filming highlights for a live football match, presenting a radio show, making a podcast, or doing a live TV Up the Archer sports preview show. As well as weekly BUCS fixtures, we also cover some really big events on campus, whether that's our varsity day against Bath University.
It's Cardiff Clash. Cardiff Met versus Cardiff University.
Clash on the Court, a triple header in the Archers Arena where we show netball, women's basketball, men's basketball, or the Cardiff Met Sports Awards, a massive event in a hotel in the city where we do all of the VTs and production for what is a brilliant way to round off the year. Across the city and across Wales, we have some very well established relationships with the industry, so our students have opportunities the whole year long to go out on placements. If you're a Welsh speaker, then we allow all students to submit any of their coursework in the medium of Welsh. We also have some fantastic opportunities in the Welsh sports broadcast industry. The sport broadcast industry is a fast-changing, ever-evolving space. We're really proud that so many of our graduates go on to work in the industry. There's all sorts of possible opportunities for the students to explore once they finish the Sport Broadcast Master's degree.